G'day internet friends. It brings me a lot of joy for today's episode of Message of Hope. And I've dreamt about this 6 months ago, 6 months in the making already. What am I talking about? I've done an episode every day except for one of the days this week because it's important to spread God's message. I want to give a shout out to Scott VP2. Hope I got that right. Thanks for your comments and your encouragement. And for everyone who's been watching, I really appreciate it. It's such a wonderful milestone. That's hello to my neighbor there. Hey Dennis, g'day. Yeah. So it is the 30th of June, 2026, the last day of the year, middle of the year. Thank you so much. Let's keep on with the celebration. It's a good one today. Now, Blu-ray orders up 10,000%. Oh no, that's not a misprint. In fact, a manufacturer of physical media was interviewed recently about the surge in demand for Blu-ray disc. And that is the number, okay, they gave. 10,000%. That's remarkable, isn't it? Now, you might expect me to say that's pure nostalgia. You're allowed to. People get, dewy-eyed about the past, choosing inconvenience for sentimental reasons. I'm perhaps one of those, old school. And maybe some for some of them it is. But I don't think that's the whole story here. Let me tell you why. I collect Blu-rays myself. I'm not obsessive about it, for sure. Maybe I got half a dozen or so, that's about it. Now, I still haven't managed to find a copy of What About Bob on the Blu-ray, which is the one I'm really waiting for. And a lot of people around the world have been waiting for years. In the meantime, yes, I could stream it. The option exists, but that's not quite the point. And I don't have Netflix or Stan or Amazon. The people driving that 10,000% figure know something, I would say. Physical disc, they scratch, possible. They take up shelf space. You can't even watch them on the phone, true. And yet people are choosing them deliberately. I wonder why. They accept the inconvenience because something about ownership, yes, something about the quality and even sometimes about the actual object in the hands, it really feels worth the trade-off. I know that feeling. And I find that interesting because I think the same instinct shows up in personal finance. Yeah, it's related. And almost nobody talks about it that way. There is a way that seems right. It's frictionless, maybe even modern and convenient, as it turned out to be the wrong road. That's not me, okay? That's 3,000 years old, that type of thinking. And you'll find it in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. This is what it says. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. Solomon wrote this about moral choices, about the danger of following your own judgment when God's wisdom points somewhere different. Yes, it's a huge contrast. And that's the primary meaning, and I don't want to slide past it. But the principle has a long reach, and it reaches squarely into the way we manage money in a world designed to make every bad financial decision feel completely reasonable. Yeah, who wants to get hurt, right? I mean, the path that seems right, listen to this. It's talking about spending now and save later. Buy the subscription you'll definitely use, maybe. Or you follow the influencer with 4 million followers who found a new way to build wealth in 18 months. There's always a new guru out there. And let the algorithm sort it out your retirement strategy. Interesting, that's where we're heading maybe. Now none of that feels reckless, and that's the point, because it feels like the obvious road. And there's a particular style of financial content on right now that I feel genuinely hard to watch. Because YouTube just gives me random feeds, at times. Now I won't name the name of this YouTuber, but there's a format where people who are struggling financially, well, they agree to have their finances examined in public, in great details, on camera too, in front of a worldwide audience. The host of that show doesn't handle it gently either, I find. The finances get dissected, voices gets raised, and arguments break out, even between the guests themselves. The guests came looking for help and ended up in a debate. Funny that. Now, I spent time in the finance industry. I'm talking about mortgage brokering, and I've been in the payday lending as well. I know what it looks like when someone's finances reveal something they rather not discuss. I'm not saying they're doing things illegal, no. Now, I remember one client from my payday lending days. He's a genuinely nice man. I was about to say his name, but I won't. Looking at his file, you'll notice something unusual immediately. He's got perfect repayment records. Not a single late payment, okay? No defaults, yep. And on his own applications, the reason for borrowing was always the same. His bank statements confirmed it. It's regular deduction month after month going to charity. I think it was some animal charity, animal welfare. So he was borrowing money to give it away. Interesting. Now, I never said a word about that to him, except maybe I said, "You're pretty generous." Yeah, it wasn't my place anyway. The file had told me something private about who this man was, and that stayed in the file. So no comment, didn't raise any eyebrows, and certainly no cameras. You're not allowed to in the office anyway. So that's what professional dignity looks like. It looks like it's not dramatic or something you can see on television, but it's just quiet and appropriate, you see. And I want to say something careful about the people who appears on these shows, the YouTube shows, because I don't think they're foolish. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. I think they're desperate. You see, when the financial pain gets bad enough, when the shame has carried long enough in private, people will try almost anything to escape it. It's very hard to blame them. They'll accept an argument on camera if it means someone's finally paying attention to their problem. That's not stupidity, that's just suffering, right? And it deserves more than theatre. I have to tell you, I'm not a big spender by nature, so saving consistently has never been my greatest struggle. I don't think it was. And I want to be honest with that, but I did once decide I was going to save 20% of every pay. Well, guess what? Went down like a lead balloon. That lasted as long as it deserved to. I was too ambitious for where I actually was, and the habit collapsed under its own weight. That's not to say I won't try in the future, but yeah, I was very ambitious. At least I had a crack at it. So I came back to 10%. That's 10% of post-tax income out of every pay. No exceptions, right? I've done that for more than a decade. It's not a rule I'm handing to you. It's just a guide. Because in the New Testament, it never talked about tithing, okay? Now, whatever percentage makes sense will differ for every person. That's my observation. But the discipline of deciding in advance and not revisiting the decision every pay cycle, and that's the thing, right? Make up your mind. You pay yourself first, the money leaves before you can reason yourself out of it. And that's not new, right? And that's not even trending. And it's not even a viral strategy. But it's been proven to work. Because it is, however, the and from Proverbs chapter 6. Now, it didn't have any supervisor and there was no accountability partner. No, they just carry on, just a quiet, consistent decision they make before winter arrives. They know how to save and work. And a lot of people earning their first real pay will feel their pull immediately. Hey, the money is there, right? Paycheck. The work was real because it's hard. The celebration feels it's well earned. And it is earned, right? I'm not dismissing that. But the habit formed on the first pay is the one that tends to stick. Listen, 10% gone before the celebration starts. It's a very different starting point to 10% saved from whatever left at the end of the month. There rarely is anything left at the end of the month. And that's not a coincidence for a lot of people. So, if this is resonating with you, yeah, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel and share the video. Give it a thumbs like, everyone. Friends, the financial world is not short of new voices right now. Right? No shortage of new systems, even new gurus, and invent up new formats and new promises they make. Most of them are offering you the same path that seems right. It's frictionless, it's even optimized. Some they find it very exciting. Some of them will argue with you on camera to prove the point. Put in a comment if you think you're watching the same video this guy is doing, where he ridicules people. Well, the old path is none of those things. It's a percentage of every pay. Move before you touch it for a decade. It's the kind of discipline that never gets finished, never gets clicked on. It looks like a man with a perfect repayment record, and he's quietly directing borrowing money towards people who needed it more than he did. That's the client. Nobody made content out of that. Nobody argued with him about his choices. He just kept doing it month after month. I don't even know he's a Christian, so I can't say he's doing it between him and God. Again, the verse, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. Hey, the disc is sitting in a warehouse somewhere, right? The Blu-ray, waiting to be pressed, and I'm still waiting. Whew. Talk about waiting. I'm not going to wait anymore. It'll be dinner time soon. That, my friend, is today's message of hope. Thank you very much for helping me reach this milestone. Help me out. Let's give it a like, subscribe. Let's get the algorithm going. Let's get more people to find the message of God. Thanks, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, 1st of July. Bye-bye.